Welcome to the Chelsea Football FanCast, fuelled by Guinness, powered by celery, the TV show with more goals than Chelsea strikers this year. Oh yes. I am Stanford Chidge, and the name of the show tonight is the Chelsea Football FanCast, Square Pegs in Round Holes. Very much like us, really, but there you go. Now, joining me on the show tonight are Dazza Mental, who I've missed. Where have you been all my life?
I think I've mentioned you before. I've been going back for 2 months now, at my nan's flat.
You have, and you were sorting out your plumbing last week, weren't you? I know. We did miss you, but it's good to see you on the show. Back in full effect, we have. I don't know if this is a promotion. You know, he could be a Kevin De Bruyne of the Chelsea Fancast, I don't know. But the Chad Meister is back with us, and he is on the table this week.
Thank you very much for having me. I feel like a grown-up now.
You do.
It's like a Christmas table when you're on the kids' table for ages, and then you're promoted to this one.
We won't treat you like a grown-up, though, Chad, I can promise. It's great to see the Chaddo, and of course that means for you lot in Mixler, you'll be getting some sense this week.
If he's the Kevin De Bruyne, he'll be on loan somewhere very soon.
He will. He might be. He needs to get more first-team time. But anyway, somebody who needs no more first-team time, the ultimate upstager, my great comedic thespian friend. Thespian, folks. Be careful how you say that.
I think you
Jonathan Kidd.
Thank you.
Where's the applause? Thank you.
Chidge is so hard up. Thank you, benches. Thank you. That's the tenner I owe you. Chidge is so hard up, he had to get me back again. So hard up for guests.
Actually, that's not true. I got you back on this week because you made me laugh so much last week. And I actually enjoyed the show so much last week because you were on it. I thought it'd be great to enjoy it again.
So the pressure is on, isn't it?
No pressure.
Isn't it?
Now, talking of pressure, of course, normally we have the wonderful, ebullient, gregarious Pablo Paul Jeffrey on the show, but sadly he has lost his voice. But more to the point, me and a few of the others were actually watching Pablo's debut performance in the beautiful game, our favourite. And Chelsea, there we go. There's Pablo. Pablo is the one that's looking about as animated as he ever does on the Chelsea Fancast, but he's the man with the big bass. But there you go. There's Lowell on the left-hand side, Jason in the middle. And there's Pablo on his bass. But they were brilliant, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's a really great shame that he's not on the show tonight so that I could comprehensively humiliate and embarrass him. But hopefully Pablo's watching and he can see that we are doing just that. But he was great. They were a great band. And I think they're playing again on the 28th. Somewhere in London.
I think 21st in Hemel Hempstead, 28th in Kilburn.
They've got a few gigs, so check them out. We had a cracking night, and honestly, I was mashed the next day. But enough of that.
What's the style of music?
It's rock and roll, mate.
Is it all
rock and roll.
Oh, good.
Anyway, talking of rock and roll, we've got some rock and roll benches tonight.
Yeah,
Let's hear it for the benches. Yeah. There we go. We've got Dan Silver. Hello, Dan.
Hiya, how you doing?
It's good to see you, mate. We've got Bunsey.
Just about warmed up after my trip to Stoke.
Bunsey was at Stoke. He looks like a man who was in Stoke. We've got a lovely... My favourite is Chef back. That would be you, Andy.
No, that'd be me.
Yeah, I know. He's so modest. He didn't even realise I was talking about him. Good to see you. But last but by no means least, we have the good-looking member of the Mantle clan, who now Gary, who's not been on the show before, as of course you will know, but Gary is instrumental to this podcast because, of course, Gary did the majority of driving on the minibus that went to Munich, the victorious Munich minibus, and it's great to see him finally on the show. And I'm going to round of applause for my benches tonight. Oh, yes. Excellent stuff. Now, if you too want to be on the Chelsea Fancast benches, then all you have to do is to send us a little old email to chelseafancast@gmail.com and you can get involved live and direct on the show. But of course, Chadder, they can also contact you, can't they?
They can, yeah.
How do they do that, Chadder?
You can go to the Mixler chat room, which is mixlr.com/Chelsea-Fancast. Or you can send us a tweet, which is at Chelsea Fancast, or use the hashtag Chelsea Fancast.
You can indeed, and you will be looking after them tonight as you always do, and stopping them from moaning about the poor sound quality. I hope.
I'm hoping to.
Are they moaning about the poor sound quality?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
There's lots of people in the chat room at the moment. Yep.
Are they happy? Are they happy with the sound?
It sounds like we're in another room apparently tonight.
Yeah, well, it's going through my phone in the gallery. I don't know why my computer doesn't work. But, you know, there is a very simple answer to this, people. I've finally figured out how you deal with it. What you do is that you turn the sound off on your laptop or your iPhone, and you can do your little interaction with Mixlr, and you watch it on another computer or on your computer at sportstonightlive.com, and then you get the best of both worlds. What more can one want? Anyway, moving on with the show, we are going to be discussing the win against Sunderland and the loss against Stoke. So that's a hooray for Sunderland and a boo for Stoke. But we'll also be awarding our man of the match, chant of the match, celery moment and Guinness moments in the fannies. And of course, we've got questions in your on CFFC. You listening on Mixlr and following us on Twitter need to get those into your Uncle Cheddar right away, because otherwise we'll have nothing to talk about. Although I do believe we've got 3 Skype calls lined up tonight, which would be great. And if you want to join in on that, it's very, very simple. All you have to do is to Skype us. The Skype address is chelsea.fancast, and we'll get you live on the show, which will be great fun. And of course, don't forget to tweet and Mixlr my fine man on the right. But before we get to all of that, it is time for our big match review. There we go. Now, a very, very frustrating day in the Potteries on Sunday as we got mugged in a game that we should have been out of sight in by half-time. But a combination of wasteful finishing and woeful defending left this most un-Jose-like Chelsea without any of the points they probably deserved. And anyway, at this juncture, Darren, we would normally have Ross. Yep. To do the Ross's ratings, but just because he skipped off on a night off doesn't mean he gets away with it. Oh no, because we do have, in fact, some of Ross's ratings, and I have some notes from him as well, but there you go. So here's Ross's ratings from the Stoke game, which look outrageously high to me. No, I think that's a bit unfair, but Ross says, he kind of says that Czech had a bit of a poor decision for Stoke's first goal. Could do nothing about the other 2, but he still gave him a 5, which I think is reasonable, to be fair. Branagh, Cahill and Terry not at their best, so he's given them 6. Aspie, good display, but caught out for the second Stoke goal. That's a 6. Ramirez, very poor in the final third. Wasn't he just? He gets a 5. Mikel, shielded well, inconsistent in possession, 6. He's forgot to mention the assist that Mikel gave for Schürrle's first goal. Bad spot. You missed that, Ross. Markov for you. Schürrle, brilliant. Absolutely spot on with this. 2 strikes of great quality. He gets 9. I think he could have easily had 3, in fact, as in 3 goals, not 3 points. Mata didn't dictate the play. He got 6. Hazard, superb on the ball again. Did most of his work away from goal, however. He gets 8. Torres off the pace, doesn't look sharp, 5. Bar, Lampard, Eto'o, ineffective off the bench. They get 6. So what do you think of that, Darren?
I suppose I agree with most of it. The subs you can't really say much more than that for, really. And yeah, I don't know, it's pretty fair. Ivanovic, maybe a 5 just because of the end of his defending for the last goal. Yeah,
I actually love Ross's ratings because, whatever he puts out, I'm always tempted to argue with on principle. But actually, invariably, Ross tends to get it spot on. And, when you concede 3 goals, and I mean, I know that, we'll talk about this after the break. Obviously, the third goal I thought was a very good goal. I mean, fair play to him, good goal, Check at fault for that? I don't think so.
No, he wasn't at fault for it, but Branagh shouldn't have shown him inside. He was going away from the goal.
I think he should
have
clattered him.
Picked up the ball, you didn't think they were going to score. All our defence were organised. We shouldn't have let it in.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. No matter how... I mean, that was a worldie. It was a good goal. No matter how much one takes that into account, if you let 3 goals in and you lose against Stoke, I don't think the defence deserve very high marks, and I think Ross has got that spot on. I also think on the other side, Jonathan, that I think Schürrle deserves getting 9.
But I think there should
super performance by the young man.
Indeed, but there should be 2 lots of Ross ratings for this. There should be a first half Ross rating for the performance in the first half and a second half Ross rating.
Are you registering an official complaint?
I am, because it was a complete... Well, the first half, they were so all over them, it was almost embarrassing.
That's very Monty Python. I wish to register a complaint. Ross's ratings is no cop whatsoever.
He should have had double a go at them, shouldn't he?
Ross,
he should have done them twice.
You have effing snuffed it. You're an ex-Ross rater.
But I thought, because other than Ramirez, who he just can't finish at all, and if Lampard had been playing, he'd have at least put one of those chances away.
I'm really glad you said that, because I kind of thought about this and I thought, blimey, Ramirez, you are no Frank Lampard. in the word of Bill
He
Clinton.
gets into the positions, but the choices he makes, he does very good positions indeed. Yeah, he got found out there.
Never inhaled, though, apparently.
Apparently not. No.
He can run on the ball as well, Ramirez. That's one of the things that he is actually good at, which our strikers cannot do. You pass it, you feed it through their defence, it will run onto it.
But I know, Chad, that's what I was thinking. I mean, he runs well and he runs a lot. But I mean, what it really made me realise is the fact that, blimey, we're so going to miss Frank Lampard when he's gone, because there is no midfielder on the planet like him for running in at the right time and burying a shot from 25 yards. Every time Ramirez did it, it went about 50 miles over the bar,
as he did against Sunderland, he was in there for the header, wasn't he?
Exactly. Chad, I'd like to hear what you think and what the mix-ups think.
Yeah, I haven't spoken about Ramirez as such yet, but going to Ross's ratings about the defenders, there seems to be quite a lot of people saying that Ivanovic needs to be dropped. Carefree Youth has said here that too many goals are coming from his side, or him losing the ball, not being able to get back in time. And then Abdullah Masu fully endorses his point, and Cole should be reinstated, and Asby should be put into the
there's
line.
dissent in the ranks. There's dissent in the ranks. Very quickly, I want to hear what the benches have to say, and then we're going to go to a break and discuss more of that. What do you reckon, Dan?
Disappointing. Very disappointing result. But Frank Lampard's irreplaceable.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's one of a kind, one of a generation.
What do you reckon? You all naffed off with the defence, boys and girls? Well, boys, because there are no girls tonight.
To be fair, before the West Ham game, I mean, Frank has not had the best of times. He came to life in the West Ham game and Sunderland, but apart from that, he's had a
But at least he can shoot, unlike Ramirez, eh?
I agree with the point about Ashley Cole as well. We're going to be saying something about defence, then why aren't we playing our most experienced?
We are going to talk all about this in the break coming up, and we'll be back with you very, very soon.